Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3. And today I'm going to be giving you part 3 of What If Naruto Had the Rinne-Tenseigan. Remember to get this one to 200 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto was given abilities by 4 devils over on Anime King. Link will be down in the description. Go ahead and enjoy. I also post a brand new episode of What If Naruto was an Emotionless Ghost over on Anime King 2. Link as usual will be down in the description as well guys, so go ahead and enjoy that. And remember to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support, and yeah, without further ado, what do you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last time we left off, Naruto was back in the village. After Zetsu, for the past 2 months has not visited the Hokage. Hiruzen wasn't so bothered by this because he heard that Naruto was still going to the academy, but he hadn't spent any time with him recently, as Naruto left behind a note saying that he was training, as Hiruzen wondered what kind of training he was doing. But he heard from Iruka that Naruto was still attending the academy, still being his normal goofy self, so he wasn't worried at all. But the real Naruto has finally returned and sent Zetsu back, as he was wearing a cloth over his eyes to hide them, a new look he said he was going for. His hair is also extended. For the past 2 months, Iruka saw Naruto wearing baggy clothing, not to mention he was wearing a hood, so he could not see most of his features. That was pretty strange, even though he was still acting like the same Naruto. He wasn't dressing like him, but now Iruka saw what was under that clothing, as Naruto had grown in size, yes. Even his height seemed to put on a bit of inches. That was strange, and his hair is extended. Shikamaru, who had came to become Naruto's friend over the time period, while he became friends with Zetsu, noticed something was strange with Naruto. Today was a combat session, as he wanted to test their skills from when they first started the academy. So all of them went around the back as they lined up. Sasuke was called to fight Naruto. All the girls cheered for Sasuke, because his match was going to be over as quick as usual, as Sasuke stepped in the ring. Sasuke ended up charging at Naruto to end this. It was then that it happened. Everyone was stunned when Sasuke was lying on the ground, as Naruto's foot was imprinted into his back, holding on to one of his arms. He told Sasuke to give up, but Sasuke struggled, so Naruto snapped his arm, breaking it. Iruka pushed Naruto away and picked up Sasuke, asked him what the hell is wrong with him, as he took that too far. He quickly rushed Sasuke towards a hospital. All the girls came up to Naruto to knock him down for what he did to their Sasuke-kun, as Naruto warned them, but they still kept on. He ended up slapping them across the face, each and every one of them that came in his way, as Mizuki quickly rushed over and stopped Naruto before things escalated. This was going to be bad for the boy, not to mention who he is. The parents wouldn't like this at all. Later, Naruto was called towards the tower, as Hiruzen heard these, things that Naruto did, and he was stunned, surprised that Naruto would do something like this. Having seen Naruto in 2 months, perhaps the boy has changed somehow. Hiruzen saw the cloth over his eyes, as he could not see Naruto's eyes at all. He wondered if Naruto could even see under that. Probably a new style of clothing he was trying out. The way he talked to him, Hiruzen found it strange. But it was Naruto, right? He wanted to know what kind of special training Naruto was doing, as he signaled for one of his envoys to watch Naruto. The envoy, purple hair, was watching Naruto through the window, as Naruto had been just training push-ups and sit-ups and running. Little did she know that was just a clone, as he came back home. The real Naruto activated his eyes. The woman was looking directly at him. She saw Naruto sleeping, but the real Naruto was looking at her. Little did she know she was caught in an illusion. As Naruto opened a floorboard, as there was a large box inside, with money inside, a lot of it, and other seal, with just piles of money inside of it. Zetsu came inside as he handed Naruto a scroll. As Naruto went over it, as he smiled and sealed away. Black Zetsu then came afterwards. as Naruto warned him to not inform Obito about anything yet, or he might kill him as well. But Zetsu simply shrugged it off, as Naruto had taken the final tests and passed. As he was having a little rendezvous with Zetsu in the forest, as Zetsu had brought him some more information, he heard battling. As he turned to see Mizuki running, Naruto stopped him, as the man had just faced off against Iruka and he was leaving the scroll. As Naruto got in his path, Mizuki decided to kill the demon brat while he was leaving. As Naruto brought out the sight he got from Madara, he took off Mizuki's arms and legs. As Naruto clamped his mouth shut, ending the man's life right there. Before using that strange white flames as his eyes pulsed, the man's body was burned into ashes. As Naruto then sliced his arms, like he got wounded from a battle, as he sealed with his scroll. So yeah guys, so basically that's where left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So what do you say we begin this new episode? Hiruzen calmly made his way towards the hospital room. As he knocked on the door, come in, said a voice. Hiruzen entered to see Naruto sitting up on the bed, as the cloth was slurring his eyes, as he couldn't really tell Naruto's expression that much from his lower face. Naruto, first of all, I'm glad that you're okay, said Hiruzen. What were you even doing out there, he asked. Well, training, said Naruto, his voice sounding neutral. I tried to stop him. I guess I thought that my training would help, but he was just so strong. You have nothing to be ashamed about, Naruto-kun. Tell me, what happened? Well, he told me something. And Jiji, please, don't lie to me, said Naruto. I want to know. Hiruzen hearing Naruto coming back to him. This is the way Naruto used to talk to him. He usually call him Jiji. But the emotion in the boy's voice, something was wrong. What did Mizuki say to him? When I finished my training, I was going back. I heard kunais clashing. I thought it was someone training, so I made my way to see what was going on. When he came upon me, he stopped in front of me. I asked him what he was doing. He didn't tell me, but I saw the scroll. And I know that belonged to you, and I know that you wouldn't give it to someone like Mizuki. So I tried to stop him. He simply laughed. He told me that you would make sure to do the village a favor and kill the demon brat while he's going. Hiruzen clenched his fist slightly at that. He told me that I was a demon. I should know before I died. Is he right, Jiji? Am I the nine-tailed demon that attacked the village all those years ago? No, of course not, my boy. You need to understand. The fourth Hokage believes that you're the only one that can master the power of the fox. He sealed it within you. That was a great responsibility for anyone, but he had the faith that you could do it. You are not the nine tails, Naruto. It is just sealed inside of you. I never want you to think that way. You hear me? You sure, Jiji? Naruto asked. Of course I am, my boy, said Hiruzen as he walked over. He placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder. You are, and you will never be a monster, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Most people in this world, Naruto, want the power that is within you, so you will need to keep that secret, okay? As Naruto nodded his head, as he looked down, Hiruzen simply patted him on the shoulder. As I said to you, Naruto, you're not any monster. The fourth Hokage believed in you, that you can harness that power, so never think of yourself as any less. Naruto nodded. I won't, he said. Can you tell me what happened afterwards? Well, he used that giant Fuma shuriken. I tried to save myself, but it was just so fast. It ended up hitting me in the arm. But I'm healed now, said Naruto. Is that the fox doing? Yes. I believe it gives you a special regeneration. I tried to stop him same way, but he was just so strong, he knocked me back. And everything went this when I hit him with that tree. And he fled with the scroll. Did you guys catch him, Naruto asked. I'm afraid not. But the envoys are on it, you have nothing to worry about. You just stay here and rest up. I'm afraid I can't stay too long. But as I said, don't ever think of yourself as a demon. You are just a container. You are not that demon. The both of you are two different, separate entities. Do you understand me? Naruto nodded, I understand. And don't let it dampen your mood. Just carry on like you've always has. I still believe in you, Rinne-Tenseigan, he said. No matter what anyone says, you can still be the greatest ninja ever and become the Hokage. After all, you passed the exam test, so soon enough you'll become a shinobi. And then you can train to become as strong as possible. Yeah, I guess you're right, said Naruto. Hiruzen smiled as he saw Naruto mood coming back. Alright then. I'll see you soon, my boy, he says he left. The moment Hiruzen left, the smile on Naruto's face dropped completely. Pretending to be an idiotic fool was really annoying, he thought to himself. He leaned himself off the bed as he turned towards the window. Getting up, Naruto looked through the window. It was still night time. Everything peaceful and calm. The village in complete bliss. As he released a small smile, the envoys will search and search, but they will never find Mizuki. After all, the man was dead. As Naruto smirked at that. Time skip. Hiruzen was in his office, as Envu was in front of him with a falcon mask. Falcon, he said. I'm sorry, Hokage-sama, but there's no sign of him. It's like he fell off the face of the earth. How is that even possible? The trail was fresh. It was seconds after he left. How could Mizuki be that fast to outpace you guys, all of you? I have no idea, Hokage-sama, said Falcon, as he was Envu commander as he looked towards Hiruzen. They are still searching. He is probably hiding. There is no way at the speed that he was going that he could make it out of Fire Nation by that short amount of time. That wouldn't be possible. For someone his rank. Yes, I know that. But to have him out there with that scroll is dangerous. Continue the search. He needs to be found as quickly as possible. Naruto left the hospital as he had made his way home. Meanwhile, inside, Naruto was looking over the scroll of ceiling. There was a lot of techniques in here, most of them dating back towards the first Hokage's reign. Yes, a lot of them, filled with techniques. As Naruto started to scan through, many techniques that he saw are rather useful. One in particular, as he looked at it, when he was talking to Madara about jutsus, he told him about this one. The Edo-Tensei, the ability to bring back a dead person back to the living world. That will be useful in the future. Most of them will be. As Naruto rolled up the giant scroll, before placing his hand on the ground, pulsing his chakra, there was a click. As he turned his head, reaching down, Naruto picked up the floorboard. As he pulled it, strange enough, the thing went straight up towards Naruto's height. As Naruto looked down, inside was dark. Yes, very dark. Stepping down with the scroll, Naruto made his way underground. As he arrived to a hollow chamber inside, underground, as there was 3 chests in there, filled with different objects. As Naruto walked over and placed the scroll on top of one of the chests, before walking out, as he shut it, placing his hand back down, the ground, the wooden floor returned back to normal, like there is nothing there. With that, Naruto decided to get some sleep. The next morning we find Naruto and Iruka, as Iruka had stopped him before he could enter the academy. I heard what happened last night, Naruto. I was too busy talking with the Hokage and the Envu for information. I heard that you were out there by yourself. Are you okay? He asked. Yeah, I'm fine, said Naruto. Being one of the few that the Hokage trusted to tell this, he told me what Mizuki told you. So you know. Yeah. You understand that the both of you are 2 different people, right? You shouldn't let Mizuki words go to your heart. You are your own person. I know that, Iruka-sensei. Did you already tell me about it, said Naruto. Iruka nodded. I'm glad. Never believed that you're that thing, okay? As Naruto nodded, as he was wearing his headband around his waist, with a grey hoodie. The hood was over his head, but it was zipped up at the front. He was wearing black pants and shinobi sandals as he walked into class. Naruto made his way towards his seat and sat down. As Iruka went towards the front of the class, quieting the kids down, he decided not to tell them about Mizuki. At the moment, none of them knew, and seeing that they were going to leave the academy, he decided to just leave that out for the moment, as the Hokage had probably told Naruto already to keep it to himself. After all, Mizuki did steal a forbidden scroll, and that information for anyone to have was quite dangerous, given the techniques that were inside that scroll. He hoped where he is, he will be caught soon enough, and brought to justice. Sasuke watched Naruto sit down, with a scowl on his face. He didn't know why the hell that he had dreamed about the blonde at one time, and why the hell in his own dream, the blonde defeated him. But he decided to pay it no mind for now. He was finally going to get out of this worthless class, and do actual things. and learn how to get actually stronger than wasting his time here. Alright, Haruka said. I know you're all probably eager to find out which squad you're on. Relax, he said. But I just want to tell you all how proud of you I am for making it this far. Meanwhile, Hinata was blushing up a storm as Naruto was sitting right beside her. Seeing that Kiba was sitting on the end where Shikamaru was, Naruto came up and sat beside her. As she didn't know what to say. Well, she didn't even feel like she could talk around him. As she glanced towards him, something was off though. Hinata didn't know what it was, but ever since he started with the clutter in his eyes, he's been acting different. Unlike most people, they wouldn't notice it because they weren't obsessed. No, she wasn't obsessed, right? She thought to herself. She was just admiring him from afar. Yes, that was right, she thought to herself. She saw certain movement that he made that were completely different. And sometimes she saw the way he smiled. Especially when talking to Shikamaru and his friends. It seemed forced. Like he was trying to put on a show. She didn't know why her Naruto couldn't do something like that. Probably she was just overthinking things. She was so lost in her thoughts she didn't notice that he was looking at her. When she finally noticed, her face became even more red like a tomato. Like it was going to burst. Oh, hi there, he said to her. Hinata was speechless. He actually speak to her? What should she say? Should she say hi back? Should she shake his hand? Was she overthinking things? Hinata started to tremble. No, I can't pass out now, she thought to herself. She had to keep calm. Oh, hello, Naruto-kun, she said, stuttering the entire time. As Naruto gave her a soft smile, which made her feel her temperature rise. She couldn't hold on anymore. No, she steeled herself. She couldn't afford to pass her right now. As she gave back a weak smile, as her lips were trembling too much. As he then turned his head and looked back towards the board. As she released a quick breath. At least the attention was off of her now. As she glanced towards him, before turning her head towards the window, she had to calm herself down. She didn't notice that Naruto was looking towards her, with a calculating gaze. If any of them could see his eyes right now, and look on his face, it was like someone playing a game, finding the special pieces, like pawns, to do what he pleased. That was not a good look at all. As Haruka went through, from Team 1 to Team 6, finally he called Team 7. Team 7 will consist of Sasuke Uchiha, as all the girls in the class hold their breath, hoping and praying. Ino clenched her hand tight. Sakura Haruno. Yes! Sakura leaped out of her seat with her fist in the air as she looked towards Ino and stuck out her tongue. As Ino hung her head in shame, she couldn't believe it. Forehead get to be on a team with her Sasuke. Haruka cleared his throat. Oh, sir, Haruka-sensei, said Sakura. As she got back to her seat, she wondered who else would it be. And Naruto Uzumaki. What? Sakura blurted out again. Ino started to laugh. That's what you get for jumping up like an idiot, she said. No. Sensei, are you sure, she asked. Sakura, please be quiet and let me finish. Sakura pouted as she glanced towards where Naruto was. She couldn't tell if he was looking at her because of that thing that was on his eyes. As she simply sighed. Well, it doesn't matter, at least she will be on her team with her Sasuke-kun. They could forget about Naruto and did their missions together. And be alone, always. That brought a smile to her face. She and her Sasuke, she thought. At the moment, Sasuke was fuming. Why, he had to be on a team with this annoying fangirl. Well, this also gave him an opportunity as he glanced towards the blonde to rematch and defeat him. Because Sasuke still refused to believe that really happened when his arm got broken by that blonde. He bet the blonde so much time before. There was no way in hell that he defeated him. As he had a scowl in his face, looking around towards Naruto. As Sakura was lost in her daydream. As the rest of the team was called. Now for Team 8. Hinata Hyuga. Hinata frowned, as she wanted to be on a team with her Naruto-kun so badly. But it was not to be. Kiba and Yuzaka, and Shino Aberami. Kiba turned a smug smile as he turned towards Hinata. Well, at least there was a beautiful girl on his team. He could get with her, he thought to himself. As he smirked towards her, she gave him a nervous smile. She wasn't so nervous around him. In fact, she didn't feel her heart flutter around him at all. As she only had feelings for one person, as she glanced towards Naruto. Team 9 is still rotating. Team 10 will be Ino Yamanaka, Choji Akemichi, and Shikamaru Nara. What? Ino shouted out in rage. You gave me the lazy one? And the fat one? As Sakura burst out laughing. That's what you get. Your team is even worse than mine. As Sakura laughed. Until 2 chalks slammed both girls in their forehead. Both of you, be quiet, Aruka said. Sorry, Aruka sensei. As they rubbed their forehead, as Ino glanced towards Sakura with a glare, Sakura simply stuck her tongue out. Haruka then listed off the rest of the teams. Once that was over, he gave them another long, heartfelt speech. As the Jonin senseis came to collect their teams, as everyone was going away, Team 10, a man came in smoking. I'm looking for Team 10, he said. As Shikamaru, Choji, and a regretful Ino got to their feet. Shikamaru sighed. This is gonna be a drag, he said. He glanced towards Naruto. Well, that's not as bad as you, he said, glancing towards Sasuke, knowing that they didn't get along, and Sakura, who hated Naruto guts. Well, train hard, said Naruto. Shikamaru gave him a slight glare. He knew that was something that he never did. Train hard. Was that a joke? Yes, it must be. And with that, Shikamaru made his way off. Still not uncovering the riddle of Naruto. Yes, that was on his mind lately. The sudden rapid change in Naruto. And the sudden strength, the sudden reflex of defeating Sasuke so swiftly. Even though they didn't have any other sparring tests, Naruto really put Sasuke in his place. Well, perhaps he was just hiding his true strength until he was close to the finals. But why though? He was still the dead last of the class. A beautiful woman came in, black hair, with red eyes. She was quite beautiful, red lipstick. I'm looking for Team H, she said. Hinata had to get by Naruto to get past. She glanced towards him as Naruto got up. Good luck, he said to her. Hinata blushed slightly. Thank you, Naruto, she said. With that, she rushed off. Kiba stopped at the door, seeing that there was only Team 7 remaining. Huh, seems the loser team get a loser sensei as well. As Sakura glared at him, but he made his way off. Kurena's eyes glanced towards the boy that was in there. Not the Uchiha or the girl, but the one that was in the corner, with the cloth covering his eyes. She didn't know why he caught her attention, but he just did. She shrugged it off before she headed off. As Sakura looked around, no sign of their sensei. Sasuke was wondering what the hell was going on, but he never spoke up about it. An hour later, Sakura was fuming red. Just what in the hell is going on? She said out loud. Why? As everyone's sensei come and pick up their students, but us. As she glanced around the room, she was angry. As Naruto was just quiet. She thought he would be the first one to explode because of this. She knew that Sasuke would never do something like that. He was always the mature one, the smart, the silent type, and so handsome. But Naruto, she was really surprised that he hasn't blown up yet. As she wondered, he was probably just acting all different, so she would go on a date with him. She quickly shrugged it off. She would never do something like that. He was a loser, a dope. Sasuke was the only one for her. Another hour passed, as Sakura was becoming red in the face with anger. Still no sensei. And once again Naruto was just calm, not saying a single word to either of them. Sasuke was not paying either of them any mind, but he sent occasional glance towards Naruto. He too was expecting the blonde to blow up and get angry, but the blonde was just calm, dead calm. Another hour passed. Sakura had enough. Whoever this guy was, he wasn't going to show up. She was going to look for Aruka Sensei to find out what was going on. All of a sudden, doors slide open, stopping her in her tracks. As white hair that seemed to defy gravity pushed through, along with a face that was covered by a mask. Ah, so you're Team 7. His voice sounded bored, really bored as he looked at them. My first impression of all of you, he said, is that I hate all of you. Sakura and Sasuke saw it drop. Who the hell was this guy? Just stepping in here and saying that he hated all of them. Was this really gonna be their sensei? Meet me up on the roof, he said. Before they could ask a single question, he was gone like that. As Sakura glanced towards Sasuke, who got out of his seat. But Naruto hadn't moved a single muscle. He was just still, leaning there. Sakura then blinked as she wondered if he was asleep. As she realized that he could be asleep, she could not see his eyes, so perhaps she made her way over. As Sakura stopped in front of him, waving her hand in front of his face. Could he really see with that thing on? She quickly reached down to lift it up. But before she could touch it, her hand was grabbed, as Naruto held onto her wrists. "What do you think you're doing?" he asked, his voice unnaturally calm. Sasuke glanced over his shoulder. "I was just checking if you were asleep, Naruto Baka. If you haven't noticed, our sensei has come and gone, and you didn't even move. Well, next time I won't care about your well-being," she said. "Now let go of me." "Did I ever ask you for anything?" Naruto asked. Sakura blinked. "You can't ask me that question," she said. "To the amount of time you asked me on dates, I guess me finally turn you down, finally make you snap, huh? That is why you changed your whole attitude and everything? Let me guess, you're trying to be like Sasuke over there, so that I will go on a date with you. Well, it's not gonna happen. So it doesn't matter how hard you try, it won't work out," she said. "It's just, I'm not into you," she said to him. As she was sure that Naruto was fawning over her. He was in love with her, but she would never go out with him. "You're gonna die," he said. That caught Sasuke off guard as well. What? She quickly pulled away her hand. What the hell was that? As she looked at him, Naruto got to his feet all of a sudden, making her step back. As she nearly tripped over, but she stopped herself. "I asked you a question, Naruto Baka. What was that?" she said. He didn't answer as he just kept on walking. Sakura watched him leave. He must be losing his mind or something. It was probably all the rejection getting to his head. As she simply shrugged it off. "Come on, Sasuke-kun," she said. As Sasuke didn't pay any mind as he went up the roof. That even caught him off guard there. He never expected Dope to say that to Sakura. Given all of his effort of trying to get her to go on a date with him, he never expected that at all. But he decided to shrug it off for now. The group made their way to the roof as Kakashi was leaning up on the railing. As he glanced towards Naruto, he heard about the event with Mizuki. As he looked over Naruto, the kid seemed fine now. Well, he does heal fast. "Alright," said Kakashi as they all sit down. "First of all, why don't we introduce ourselves?" he said. Sakura raised her hand. "Yes? Why don't you go first, Sensei?" "Well, sure," he said. "The name is Kakashi Hatake. My goals. Well, I'm not gonna tell you that. My likes. Not gonna tell that either. My dislikes. Don't think I should tell you that. My hobbies. Well, they're not old enough. How about you, Pinky?" he said. Sakura and Sasuke sweat dropped. He didn't actually say anything but his name. "Alright, my name is Sakura Haruno. And my goal is..." She glanced towards Sasuke as her face turned bright red, as she squealed in excitement. "And my dream is..." She squealed again, as Kakashi's sweat dropped. "My dislikes are Ino, Pig, and Naruto Baka," she said. Kakashi glanced towards Naruto. Something was off. Just from looking at him. It wasn't like he was, showing much because his eyes were hidden. But his face was just neutral. The report that he got was that this kid was a blabbering idiot that loves to talk, loves to scream about being Hokage, but now, nothing. He was just so quiet. "Alright then, Pinky." Sakura glared at him for the nickname. He glanced towards Sasuke. "Your turn," he said. "My name is Sasuke Uchiha. I don't like most things. I dislike many things. There's only two things I want to do. First, kill a certain someone, and the other one is re-establish my clan." So, the kid is hopped up with vengeance, huh? Kakashi thought to himself, as Naruto glanced towards Sasuke. "Alright, Blondie, you're next." The place went quiet, as Kakashi waited for Naruto to say something. But he never said a single word. "Blondie?" Kakashi wondered if he had fell asleep. Because if he did, that would be the, attitude of the Naruto Uzumaki. That would be the attitude he should have. "Blondie?" Sakura hesitated to touch him, seeing that last time he grabbed her hand. And he also said that she would die. So she decided not to pay him any mind. As Sasuke glanced towards Naruto, Kakashi sighed as he got off the rail and made his way. As he stopped in front of Naruto, he crouched down. "Hey, Blondie," he said. "What?" Naruto asked. "It's your turn." "Didn't you read the file?" Naruto asked. Kakashi blinked. "File?" "Yes. If you were going to get 3 students, you must have read up on the files about us. Why should I explain something to you already know? Not to mention, I was in the academy with these 2 for 4 years now. They should know more than enough. After all, you didn't say anything but your name, and they already know my name." Kakashi looked at Naruto with an eye smile. "That had been a lot easier if you had just said it," he said, as he walked back towards the railing, glancing towards Naruto. He would need to talk to Hokage about this. This was definitely not the kid that they had in the file. It was nothing like him. "Alright, you 3. Tomorrow, 7 a.m. sharp, be at Train Ground 7 for your real test." "Wait, what?" Sakura said. "What real test?" "Well, the test to see if you're worthy enough to become Genin." "But, Sensei, we already did that." "Oh, that's where you're wrong, Sakura," he said. "That was the test to see if you would graduate the academy. This is the other test to see if you'll become Genin." "What kind of test?" "I'll explain to you tomorrow. Oh, you guys probably shouldn't eat anything. I would advise it for this test," he said. And with that, he was gone. Sakura got to her feet. "Well, that was underwhelming," she said. She really thought that it was going to be more. "Hey, Sasuke-kun, you wanna go get something to eat so we can talk about the events that happened today?" "No," Sasuke says he walked off, not even paying her any more mind. As Naruto stood there, just looking out to nothingness, Sakura glanced towards him. She shrugged as she walked off as well. As Naruto jumped up towards the balcony, before simply jumping off. Time skip. The next morning, as Sakura had came early and so did Sasuke, she felt tired and hungry. She never ate the previous night because, well, she was doing a cleansing to watch her figure. She was just drinking juice and water. And she didn't get to eat this morning because she could not. As the 2 of them waited an hour, they got nothing. They thought that their sensei would probably be on time this time, but he did not. Another hour passed. Not even Naruto was here, as Sakura was starting to get angry. Despite trying not to let it show, it was getting to Sasuke as well. He was furious, he was pissed off. 2 times now this man was late, and he wondered where the dope was as well. But he couldn't care about that, he just wanted to get this test over with, and do some real missions, and get stronger. Another hour passed, still nothing. As the both of them continued to wait in silence, as Sasuke wouldn't talk to her, the only thing she got from him was a grunt of acknowledgement that he was even listening when she asked the questions. He didn't actually say words, which she was, well, tired of hearing, because he wouldn't answer her straight out, so she decided just not to say anything, as it was really becoming awkward now. He wouldn't go on a date with her no matter how hard she asked. She released a long sigh, as she wondered where their sensei was. Suddenly, there was a poof of smoke. "Yo," said Kakashi as he looked at him with an eye smile. "You're late!" Sakura screamed. Kakashi stepped back. "Sorry about that," he said. "A black cat jumped in my way, so I had to walk the other way around. And then a old lady asked me to help her with her bags, so I had to. And then another old man asked me to help him paint his fence, so I helped as well. That is why I'm so late." The both of them blinked at that excuse. "You're lying," said Sakura. "And why would I lie?" he said, giving her an eye smile. "Alright then, so let's begin this," he said. "But Sensei, Naruto Baka is not here yet." "Huh? Of course he is. He's right there." Sakura and Sasuke spin around. When they did, they saw Naruto in the tree, as he was lying in a tree branch. That confused them because Naruto wasn't here at all. Did he just arrive or something? "Hey, since when have you been here?" Sakura asked. Flipping out of the tree, Naruto landed on the ground. "Some time ago," he said. His answer was very vague. She just glared at him. Before anything could be said, Kakashi spoke. "Alright then," he says, he clapped his hands together. He then pulled out a clock as he placed it on a nearby tree. "That is set for noon. If you can't manage to get these bells from me, you'll be going back to the academy. Wait, what? Sakura said. You heard me correctly. If you can't manage to get a bell from me, you'll be going back to the academy. That is a test. And make sure to come at me with the intent to kill or you will not succeed. But Sensei, there's only 2 bells. Ah, so you understand. Sasuke narrowed his eyes as he realized it quickly. One of us will be going back no matter what, said Sasuke. Yes, correct, Uchiha, said Kakashi as he gave Sasuke an eye smile. So, now you understand you have to come at me with everything you got. Sakura started to panic before she glanced towards Naruto. As she started to smile slightly. Naruto will be their scapegoat. All they have to do is get the 2 bells. And both her and Sasuke can be on a team. Yes, just her and him alone. That brought a big smile to her face. Yes, Naruto Baka doesn't have what it takes, but she and Sasuke will be the perfect team ever, she thought to herself. Alright, said Kakashi. Remember, don't hold back, or you'll be going back to the academy. After all, there's a 66% chance of failure. Sasuke and Sakura eyes widened. Kakashi glanced towards Naruto. Because of his, well, eyewear, he couldn't get a read off the kid. Not even a single glance. Nothing. And his lower half of his face wasn't showing anything better either. His lips were just neutral. Everything about him was just so calm. He refused to believe that the kid was so calm in a situation like this. What? Did he think that he can get the bell that easily? Kakashi's eyes smiled as he looked towards him. Alright? Begin! With that, Sakura and Sasuke flashed away, leaving Naruto there. Naruto, I did say begin. As Kakashi looked at him, have you ever heard of a 2-man cell? Before Naruto asked. Kakashi narrowed his eyes. What do you mean? A 2-man cell with a sensei. Have you ever heard of one before? Why is that important? Kakashi asked. Well, I'm wondering how long it will take for those 2 idiots to realize that there's no such thing as a 2-man team. So you telling us that one of us will go back to the academy makes absolutely no sense. Kakashi narrowed his eyes. He never thought that Naruto would figure it out so quickly. Well then, if none of you are going back to the academy, how do you explain the 2 bells? As Naruto said nothing, so Kakashi thought that he was just thinking about it. Seems like he was much smarter than the other 2. That was surprising. As he was supposed to be the dead last in the class, the one that doesn't have any brains, but he figured out the exam so quickly, so fast. But he wondered if he could figure out the other part, that this was for teamwork. It seems not, as Naruto simply glanced towards him, before he reached in his pouch and pulled out a kunai, as he then tossed it towards Kakashi's feet. Kakashi glanced towards the kunai. There was no explosive note or nothing on it. He was confused. Your aim is a bit off there, he said. By the time he glanced back to Naruto, Naruto was already walking off into the bushes. Kakashi shrugged as he simply made his way towards a tree, as he leaned up and pulled out his book. Meanwhile, Sasuke was glancing out, waiting for his perfect opportunity to strike. Suddenly a shadow loomed over him. Uchiha. Sasuke spun around just in time. But he scoffed. What the hell do you want, dope? We don't have time for this. I thought you were smart, but it seems I was wrong. You're dumb as the others. What was that, Sasuke, as he got to his feet? Haven't you realized that this test is a sham? Huh? Well, think about it. Have you ever seen a 2-man team in history with a sensei? Now that Sasuke thought about it, no. If it wasn't the apprentice, there was no such thing as a 2-man team. What are you getting at, dope? This test is for teamwork. He wants to see if we can work together despite knowing that one of us will go back to the academy no matter what. And how do you know that this is true? What if he's just different from other senseis? I won't make that risk with you. Get the hell out of here, Sasuke said. Without your help, I won't pass. Well, I guess you won't. Sasuke turned back, only to feel something wrapped around his throat. As he was turned to face Naruto face to face, he couldn't see his eyes, just that black cloth over his eyes. Listen to me, Uchiha. There's only one way we're passing this, and it's by working as a team. So I need to get that arrogant bullshit out of your head. Just because you're Uchiha, you think you're better than everyone. Sasuke felt Naruto's hand tighten around his throat. He tried to raise his hands, but he could not. What the hell was going on? He could not move a single muscle. Was it fear? Why the hell would he fear this dope? Just what in the world was going on with his body? As Naruto released him, he could move his hand again as he started to gasp for air. You dope. You're gonna pay for that, he says. He reached towards his kunai pouch, only to realize it wasn't there. You get this back when you stop being a naive idiot, said Naruto, as he had the pouch in his hand. Now, let's go find Sakura. Give that back to me, Sasuke says as he swing his fist through the ear towards Naruto's head. But Naruto was already gone. Lucia. Sasuke looked towards the tree to see Naruto there, as he leaped after him, but Naruto vanished once again, as he started to follow him. Meanwhile, Sakura was crouched down, waiting for the right moment to find Sasuke so the both of them can work together, so the both of them can pass and leave Naruto behind. When suddenly, Naruto landed beside her. She quickly got to her feet, only to slam right into Sasuke. Seeing that Sasuke did not see her because she was lying down, and he was chasing after Naruto, the both of them fell to the ground, only for them to be unable to move, lying on your stomach. What's going on? Sakura said. She tried to get up but she could not. Sasuke was also feeling the same thing. I can't move, he said. Sasuke-kun, what's going on? She asked. Be quiet, said Naruto as he kneeled down beside them. Naruto-baka, are you doing this? What did you do to us? He asked. Let us go, she said to him. I'm not doing anything to you. Can't you see my hands are free, said Naruto. So how are you standing? Don't know. First of all, the reason why I'm here. What the hell is going on? Sakura said, interrupting Naruto. Sasuke's eyes narrowed as he saw Naruto and twitch, reaching towards his kunai pouch. But he did not reach any kunai. He chopped Sakura in the back of the neck, knocking her out. What the hell, dope? Even if you're stupid planning the three of us, you just gone and messed it up. A clone poof into existence. Sasuke blinked. What the hell's a little illusion gonna do? He asked. Transform. The clone transformed to a perfect replica of Sakura. Sasuke blinked. Is that a solid clone? He was confused. Only thing he knew was a clone jutsu to create fake copies, but that thing was able to perform a transformation. How? Sasuke felt his, movement returning back to him. We three will have to work together. That girl is just annoying, said Naruto, as he looked towards Sasuke. And if you resist, I'll just knock you out and do the same thing. Sasuke glared at him. It doesn't matter what you say, dope. I'm not gonna be working with you. Uchiha, said Naruto quietly. You think you're stronger than me, don't you? Of course I do. You are nothing but a... Sasuke couldn't get to finish that sentence, as Naruto grabbed him once again by the throat. Once again, Sasuke couldn't move his arms, as Naruto started to squeeze. Sasuke started to turn blue in the face, as he felt his breath not getting to him. Sasuke felt his breath not going through at all, as he tried to gasp for air but he could not. He couldn't open his mouth. He couldn't say a single word. All he could do was struggle, but he could not break free. As he looked at Naruto, without seeing his eyes, everything was getting dizzy, as Sasuke felt his head going swimming. He felt his entire body going numb. Before he was released, as he dropped to the ground, he gasped for air. He was lying on the ground as he could barely move. You almost killed me, he said. Now do you understand, said Naruto. You always claimed to be better than me, and yet, it would have been so easy for me to just keep on squeezing and kill you right there. Keep on running your mouth, Uchiha, and I'll hold it for a bit longer. You really think it would be that easy to kill me, said Sasuke, and the village wouldn't be on you instantly? Huh. Do you believe that you have a good name because you're last Uchiha, said Naruto. Sasuke knew that was a fact, as his name, was quite popular given that he was the last one, as the council members were always nice to him, not to mention two elders. They were always making sure that everything best was for him. That is why he sees himself as above everything else. After all, he was an orphan now, and he lived in a rather nice apartment in the upper part of Konoha, and he didn't pay rent at all. Yes, he was better than everyone else that lived in a slump. Well, I guess I would have just killed him as well. Huh. And you would be dead within seconds. You think you can go up against the council, Sasuke said, as he wondered what happened to Naruto. Yes, this was definitely not the same Naruto that he used to know. The same Naruto wouldn't say anything like this. And furthermore, choke him and almost kill him. I'm gonna make you pay for what you did. You know, we're wasting time here, said Naruto. I'm gonna give you the last chance to agree with this plan. Because, as things are now, we're gonna be running out of time, and we're all gonna be sent back to the academy. Sasuke thought about his options. If working with dope means that he will graduate, he has to. Because he needs to graduate, he needs to get stronger and leave this village to kill him. Yes, he need more power. And being in the academy over again wasn't going to help at all. Fine, I'll agree with your stupid plan, but for now. And don't think I forgot what you just did to me. I'm gonna get you back. And my revenge is gonna be worse than what you did. You can try anything you like, Uchiha, but make sure you can handle when I retaliate, said Naruto. Sasuke scoffed as he got to his feet. So what the hell do you want? Simple. Meanwhile, Kakashi wondered what was taking them. He had sensed them move along together. As he was surprised that they had come together, he wondered if Naruto told him what he, thought. Did Naruto really break the test already? He smiled at that. At least the kid wasn't as stupid as the academy set him out to be. Suddenly, he had to dodge a barrage of shurikens that came towards him. Quickly dodging to the side, he stabbed into the tree that he was leaning up against. He was still holding on to his book. As he saw that it was Sakura, she quickly retreated back into the forest. As he smirked, when he tilted his head, dodging a kick from Sasuke, he quickly grabbed Sasuke by the arm and flipped him around, only for Sasuke to poof. It was a clone. He then realized what was going on. As he looked back up to see Sakura, she was fast, raining down kunai towards him. He quickly pulled one kunai from a tree and blocked all of them. Before he twirled her on his finger, she would have to be a lot faster. Now where was the other one, he thought to himself. He then saw Naruto run out of the forest towards him. He was really slow. As Kakashi watched Naruto came towards him, suddenly Kakashi heard a hissing sound. He looked down, his eyes widened. Boom! Kakashi reappeared on the edge of the forest way, which he substituted with a log, but his clothes were burned. Kakashi panted in confusion, as he didn't understand what the hell happened. He was sure that none of the kunai Sakura threw was explosive tags. So what was that? How in the world did that kunai get there? He then blinked, as he remembered Naruto throwing a kunai earlier, but it was just a regular kunai he had checked. So what happened? Suddenly his foot gave away underneath him, confusing him, only for his head to turn into a kick, as the boot slammed into his face, sending him rolling on the ground. Kakashi was sure that his nose was broken, but how the hell can one kid have so much force in one kick? He quickly got to his feet. How did his legs just gave out on him like that? I'm impressed, he says. He looked towards Naruto. He felt the ground rumble underneath him. Before it cracked, several Naruto emerged. Kakashi smirked as he was about to take them all out, when he saw in their hands. Boom! Everything exploded, as all of them were holding on to an explosive note. But Kakashi was far away in the forest, or he substituted himself rather quickly. He then saw. So that was a clone back there, he said as he looked at the trio in front of him. Let me guess, you work out this strategy that I would come in here. I'm quite surprised. Seems like your team are better than I thought. Sasuke smirked as he flipped through hand sign, causing Kakashi's eyes to widen. He's gonna fire style, fireball jutsu. Kakashi leaped off the tree branch, only for him to be yanked down. He looked at his feet but nothing was on it. He was pulled straight towards Naruto. He twisted his body, passing Naruto only for Sakura to stab him right in the arm with a kunai. As he winced, that caught Kakashi completely off guard. A genin just stabbed him. A brutal kick then smashed into his stomach. Once again, a force that he didn't understand rocked him as he was sent sailing and crashed. Kakashi staggered to his feet as he looked at Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura coming towards him. He was surprised. He was off his game today. He keep on slipping and feeling imaginary weights. So I guess this is over, said Naruto. Well, it isn't over until you... Kakashi paused as he patted his waist. What the... As Naruto's holding on to the two bells. How did you... Sasuke narrowed his eyes. How was Naruto tricking him like this? Isn't this man a Jonin? Why didn't he know that Sakura was a clone that was transformed? What the hell was going on? And when did the dope get so fast and strong? Well, you were distracted, so I decided to take them, said Naruto. Well, Kakashi said, still completely unaware how did Naruto do that? And how did, as he looked at his arm to see the stab. You'll have to go to the hospital. A Genin, huh. He allowed a Genin to stab him. Yes, Genins caught him off guard. If his peers hear that, especially Guy, he will never get over it. As he sighed, well, you have the bell, Naruto. So what are you gonna do with it now? There is just two. And you have two teammates and plus yourself. Who is going back to the academy? Sasuke glared at Naruto as he realized the blonde misjudged things. One of them will still be going back. None of us, said Naruto. Oh, and why is that? Naruto had a bell to Sasuke, who caught it. He threw a bell to himself that was transformed, who caught it, as he was holding one. Kakashi blinked. Well, having a fate bell doesn't mean that you pass. Fate bell? What are you talking about, said Naruto, as he tossed the bell to Kakashi, who caught it. Well, Kakashi came over and took the bell from Sakura, and glanced at it as he took the bell from Sasuke and glanced at it. They were real. How would Naruto know to bring a bell? Well, that still doesn't mean that you pass. I only had two bells. Well, you were expecting us to work as a team. We did. So isn't that enough, said Naruto. Well, I guess you're smarter than I thought. That was the real reason behind the exam. But still, where did you get this third bell? What bell? Kakashi looked down as he had nothing in his arm. He blinked in confusion and so did Sasuke. Wait, what the? Seems like you're losing your mind, Sensei, said Naruto. Kakashi stood there dumbfounded. Well, I guess I should go to the hospital to get this patch up, he says. He looked at his arm, as a little bit of blood was leaking out. Well, you three have passed, he says. He looked towards him. Congratulations. We are now officially Team 7. Meet me tomorrow here at 8, he said. With that, he gave my eye a smile and flashed away. As Sasuke sighed, well, I guess your stupid plan worked, he said. I knew it would, said Naruto. Dope. Where do you get the bell? So you're curious as well, said Naruto. No, it's just... Well then, you don't need to know, said Naruto as he started to walk off. As Sasuke glared at him as he walked off. As Naruto made his way, as Sasuke headed off, completely forgotten about someone, Sakura woke up. What the... Where am I? She looked around. Take it easy, everything is alright. Wait, Naruto? What's going on? The last thing I remember was you and Sasuke talking and... What happened? You seem to pass out, said Naruto. Whatever her sensei did to us, it affected you the most. Oh, she said. So what happened? Don't worry, we pass. Huh? Well, it was a teamwork thing. He saw that we were tending to you, so he let us pass. We're supposed to meet here at 8 tomorrow. Really? She said with a bright smile. Wait, all of us? Yes. She got to her feet happy. Well, this still doesn't mean I'm gonna give you a date for celebration. Naruto simply walked off. As Sakura wondered where was her Sasuke gun. As Sakura went away, Naruto stood there. You can come out now, he said, as he waited for the person to show himself. But guys, if you any subscribe right here. If you want the next part of this, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all their friends in social media platform. But I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.